students. Hope you are keeping yourself fine and healthy nowadays during this crisis time. So I'm your social studies teacher. We will be taking chapter number 1, that is studying the past. Okay, in this chapter we will be learning more about what is the need to study the past. What is study of the past called? So basically this study of the past is called the history. Okay, our history. You must have wondered how human beings came into existence, how they survived, how they used to live, how they sustained their livelihood, how they started settling. So what are the features that made them settle near one place? So these all answers you will be getting in this chapter only when we will be studying more about our past, that is through the study of history. So all the basically history is the knowing more about our ancient people, knowing more about them, how they live, how their livelihood, that we will be studying in this chapter. So depending upon the time we will be taking, our history is divided into 3 time periods depending upon the time. So this time period are called there are 3 time periods. One is prehistory, the other one is proto-history, and the third one is history. Now we will be taking one by one each and every time period we will be studying in detail. Now the first time period that we will be studying is prehistory. Okay, during this time writing had not been invented. People were not able to write anything. They don't know how to write, so there are no written records of this period that we have. So basically how we came to know about this time period? We came to know about this time period through evidences or of the physical pieces such as pots, jewelry, tools, coins, bones, etc., which have been digged into the soil. Through these evidences or through these physical remains which have been thrown, might be by the ancient people, or which have fallen down by them. So through these evidences we came to know about this time period, prehistory time period, how people used to live, what they used to eat. We used to learn about many things about them through these evidences. So these physical remains, these evidences are called archaeological sources. An archaeologist, as you can see, is a person who studies human history through these physical remains. Basically, archaeologist is a person who studies these all evidences that have been digged in by the ancient people. Basically, his work is like a detective. He used to work like a detective. He used to investigate each and every piece which they used to find, so that they came to know about the ancient people. So archaeologist is that person. Now what do you mean by archaeology? Through all these we came to know what is archaeology. So archaeology is the study of these physical remains. Okay, so these are 3 important terms that you should be knowing: archaeological sources, archaeologist, and archaeology. Now let us come to the second time period, that is the proto-history. Okay, proto-history is basically similar to the prehistory time period only. Here also we have some written records, but they are very limited. So archaeological sources here also are the main source of information. One biggest example of proto-history time period is Indus Valley civilization. This we will be starting in detail in the later chapters. Okay, what happened in this type of civilization, how people used to settle in this we will be studying in detail later on. Okay, so the Indus Valley is basically Indus River. People used to settle there. This civilization came to be known as that civilization. This we will be studying more in detail in the later topics. So now the third, so we can say proto-history and prehistory are basically 2 same time periods. They are correlated. Now the third one that came is the history. Third time period that came is history. So history is a time period after the invention of writing has been done. So here we have written records. The ancient people, they used to write on rocks, they used to write on pillars, they have made some paintings and everything they came to know. So through these written inscriptions, we came to know about that time. Now, so these are the 3 types of time period that we have studied: prehistory, proto-history, and history. This we have studied. So we can now tell that depending upon time, history can be divided into 3 time periods. Now let us take another topic, that is dates in the history. How are dates expressed in the history? Dates are expressed in two forms in the historical times. One is BC, other one is AD. Nowadays, many new historians, they used to take other term. They used to use other terms. They are BCE and CE instead of BC and AD. BCE is used instead of BC, which stand for before common era, and CE stands for AD, which means common era. So before common era is basically when years are counted in backward counting. You know backward counting, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So that you all must be knowing. So let us take an example. In this BC, before common era, 100 BCE comes before 99 BCE, and in this common era, 99 CE comes before 100 CE. So common era is basically years counted in forward counting, and before common era is basically years counted in backward counting. So these all topics we will be taking for today, so that it will be easier for you to understand. Now I'm giving you certain assignments that I'm giving you. Now I'm giving you certain assignment that you have to do at your home, so as to revise what you have studied. This assignment, you have to make a notebook, and then you have to write these questions and their answers, that you have to write what you have understood depending upon what you have understood. So basically these are certain fill-ups, and this is one question: why do we need to study the past? This you have to answer. Hope you have enjoyed this video and you've learned a lot. If you have any problem, then you can ask me in the next session, then we will be in which we will be meeting. Okay, thank you students.